Okay, guys. I know I don't post much nowadays, but I had to post about this. I don't even want to call it a dream. Have you ever been sort of sleeping and you've got something playing on the background on your TV and it starts being incorporated into your dream, but not like word for word? Like your dream takes it and makes it into something else. So I was watching this press conference, and by the way, I've done a couple of streams about how I just felt like nothing was right about this whole Iran Israel conflict with the US. And if you're interested in what I think about that, you can go back and check those out. But this um, latest conflict, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. So in my dream of this conference, of this press conference, everything that you would think would be Iran, Trump was saying Israel. And it was like the press and like the media that were asking questions, like no one was saying anything or calling it out or anything. They just continued to ask their questions. Um, so it was like all of Israel's missiles are depleted, everything is gone, all the stuff that he was saying. But eventually it kind of morphed into his own like combination of different things that he said. Now, we already have seen some of the videos that look like they may be fake, some are AI. If we're being really honest, if we look back over the last couple of years, it's very difficult to believe anything. I really thought that after 9/11, that from now on, we would all experience whatever was going on in the world together. But now I have so many questions about that, and it's only gotten worse over the years. There's so many things that are just made up. AI, Epstein jail video, like you name it. I literally cannot believe anything I'm seeing. Trump attempted assassination, Charlie Kirk assassination, like none of it makes any sense. And then you think about wars and rumors of wars, and I don't want to get too deep into that, but I just want to talk about what my dream was, um, if you even want to call it a dream. And so everything that he was saying, he was applying to Israel, not to Iran. And it made so much sense. And it was kind of striking because nobody was pushing back on it. Um, I have a, it's really even hard to explain how this dream played out because, it's a dream, they don't make sense. Eventually, it kind of felt like I myself was asking a question. Now, I'm one of those people who have a hard time watching any of these political press conferences because I just have no respect for the so called journalists that are there. I think that the questions that they ask are dumb, often very simple minded, and they have no ability to ask a follow up question if they don't get the answer that they wanted. I feel like somebody else wrote their questions for them. And if they don't get the answer that they wanted, they just kind of fall apart. So I've always been really frustrated with them, both in the room with Caroline, and when they're dealing with Trump. They want the answer they want, and they don't really know what to do if they don't get that. So it was me that was asking the question, and I don't feel like I was in the media room. It was just like I was in my dream asking this question, and Trump was answering my questions. And so the question that I finally asked was, are we against war with Iran or are we against war with Israel? And he said, I said Israel and I meant Israel. That's what he said. I said Israel and I meant Israel. And I said, but what about all of the bombs that we're dropping on Iran, and the innocent people there? And he's like, well, it's a war. And a lot of bad things happen in war. And that didn't really answer my question. And I felt like I was becoming one of these people. I was like, okay, maybe I need to have a little bit more respect. But I decided that I was going to keep asking questions because no one else was saying anything. It was just like in my dream, I was able to ask the questions I want. And I don't know if it was like I couldn't really see or perceive the other reporters. It didn't feel like I was in the room. It was just more like I'm asking questions that I would be screaming out in my head. He was answering them. This is crazy, guys. Okay. He's like, well, we've done our best to try to protect the Iranians. That's what he said. And I mean, I said, you mean the Israelis? He says, like, we've done our best to try to protect the Iranians. We've got our ships out there. We've got our planes in the sky, and we're doing the best that we can to protect them. And I asked him, who are you protecting them from? And he said, well, we've got the globalists, we've got the Israelis who really are not doing anything. They're just controlled by the globalists. And they want to do harm to Iran. And they were going to attack them. And he just kind of goes into this tirade of all of the things that he's been saying. And he's like, well, they were going to attack us. And I'm like, who was going to attack us? He's like, Israel was going to attack us. So we didn't really have time. And at this point, I'm losing it. And I feel really ridiculous and stupid because I'm like, how is he even answering my questions? And I tried to ask a final question and I said, well, what's going to happen to Israel? And he said, well, I think everything is gone. And then I woke up. I don't know what any of this means. It makes more sense only because I look at patterns. I'm a pattern person and I look at patterns. If something doesn't make sense to me, I don't accept it. And I'm just really not here for accepting like this 50-year-old garbage intel, which Trump has had knowledge of from his first time being president. And he said no war with Iran. And so this information hasn't changed. If Iran wanted to attack the U.S., I'd say it would be a much better idea to do it while Biden was president and not to wait until Trump was president. So not only do I not believe it, I haven't seen any evidence of it. Even the things that he says is just all like sort of garbage intel is what I call it. I think I made a video about that. I'm not even sure if I posted it. But anyway, that was my dream. We are at war with Israel, but not really Israel. They're like the globalists, one of the globalist satellites or assets or vassals, because a lot of these people that we're calling American vassals, they're not really American vassals. They're more like globalist vassals. This is my interpretation now. And that it makes sense to me because I just don't see Trump as the kind of person that's going to be anybody's bitch. I don't know why anybody suddenly thinks that or believes that. And so as part of a pattern recognition, if I see something that doesn't make sense, if it's not a part of a person's pattern, I will spend a lot of time and energy trying to see if I can find anything in their history that would make that pattern fit. And in this particular case, I just couldn't find anything. I couldn't. Trump does like to set people up. Right now, he's literally got Republicans acting like Democrats. It's crazy to me, his ability to do that. He hasn't driven any of these setups home yet. I'm not the kind of person that you can give me one lie and then pile another lie on top of it and another on top of it, and I'll continue to just trust you blindly. I don't even care if my instincts is telling me that he's trying to do something different. I'm just not that person. I'm not that bitch. So you have to tell me the truth, and then you have to let me decide whether I want to be a part of it or not. This is why I didn't vote in 2024 for a lot of people. It had to do with COVID and other things that happened after that. And so I need to be told the truth. And when I get the truth as far back as I'm demanding the truth, then we can move on to some of this other stuff. But there is no trust me, bro, for me. I'm just not that person. but we were at war with the globalists, and he said that they were going to attack us. They were planning all kinds of things. And so it wasn't Iran that was planning it. And so when he's talking and when he's saying this, my interpretation is that he's not talking to us and that this is a gamble. Again, my interpretation, but that look at how everybody that are his adversaries are like falling in line. He's like got them completely under control right now. And I am not here to minimize any harm or damage that may have been done, not only to our soldiers, because I'm opposed to this war as it's presented, don't get me wrong, or people that have been harmed in Iran, innocent people in Israel. There are innocent people everywhere. And there are always people that are getting harmed. So I don't know who's getting harmed and who's not. I don't assume that the reports that I'm getting are true just because everybody's confirming it. Remember when everybody was confirming chemical weapons in Syria? It's just not, I'm just not that person anymore. Sorry. I don't even care if people think I'm crazy or not. I'm not saying it is or isn't happening. I'm saying I don't know. I'm saying you don't know either. But if you feel confident in the conclusions that you've reached, then go for it. So anyway, that was my very odd dream. I just wanted to make a video about it today. It's Monday, March the 9th. And hopefully we'll start arresting these freaks, weirdos, and perverts soon. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.